Hi everyone, Paulette from Spirit Talks. I don't know how your past few days have been going, but my last week, especially the last 5 to 7 days, has been particularly challenging on every level, mentally, physically, spiritually and emotionally. And I have felt tired, and I have felt as if I don't have enough energy, not only to give to myself, but to the people around me, my clients and my family, who I adore. And I was having a chat with Spirit about this, and it all comes back to about being balanced in our lives. And as I briefly touched on, for me, it's about bringing more balance in my life so that I have more time to experience joy and to have more rest, because I do work quite long hours. However, it needs to be counteracted with rest. And when we did receive news about the Amazon fires and what was going on, and the delayed response in terms of letting the population know what was actually going on, I felt an overwhelming sense of grief and also despair. And Spirit said, Paulette, there's fires that happen in the Amazon all the time. And they said this particular fire is to bring attention to what priorities the world has today. And as I mentioned in my post, we quickly found money to rebuild the Notre Dame. However, with the rainforest, the media coverage was very much delayed in comparison to the burning of that particular building, the Notre Dame. And it's quite a comparison where nature is allowed to burn or not to bring attention to the public, whereas a stone building warrants more media attention and immediate attention. And because of my state of being unbalanced, when I was reading about the Amazon, it really did upset me a lot more than I am accustomed to. And I couldn't really see the reason for it until Spirit gently explained for why this literally had to be a beacon of light to bring attention to the world, and how upside down the world is on so many levels. And it really brought home to me the fact, for every single one of us who is trying to do our very best on this planet at this time, that it is important that the changes that we feel we need to make within our own lives will in turn help us to cope with better on what is going on around us, so that when we hear news of devastation, loss, both humans and also the animals and the ecosystems which are suffering terribly, we are able to not be as unbalanced in our response. And I was very unbalanced in my response to this news, because I was not balanced within myself, because I hadn't made the necessary changes that Spirit had been telling me, or not telling me, but encouraging me to make. And I've just keep putting them off. So if you have experienced this as well, this overwhelming sense of grief and at what's going on in the world in general, then that's why it's important that all of us have balance in our life, and even if it's just making small changes. And interesting enough, as I was going through all of this, I did pick up the book, Spirit Talks, and I randomly turned to a page, as I do, and on page 61, this is what it reads, and I'll read just a little bit for you. We say to you, look at the world around you, really look at it. Can you see and feel the chaos that is surrounding you? Do you hear the media cover such sad stories of death, war, and destruction? Do you see governments increasing their entitlements and decreasing yours? Do you feel the sense of despair that is pervading most souls on the planet, despite every attempt to remain centered and balanced? Do you see no relief or an end in sight to this madness? If you have answered yes to most of the above, then be assured that the change is coming. Be assured that the light is strong in its power to change and to bring balance back to the earth and to its inhabitants. And so they've used balance quite a few times in that statement. And that comes back to us again, and what we've been discussing about is having a more balanced life for ourselves, because that in turn will help us to be more centered and more balanced in our response to what is happening within the world and the people and the animals and the plants and everything that's happening on the earth. And interesting enough, when I was having a chat to Spirit about the fire, they said to me, Paulette, the world has been on fire for a very long time. It's just that you can't see it. It is indeed burning. And I was, what do you mean it's been burning? Where? I can't see the flames? And they said to me very gently again, you don't necessarily have to see flames in order to know that the earth is burning. And then it suddenly tweaked. And what they were actually talking about is the radiation that we are experiencing here on this planet, both the earth itself, our beautiful divine earth mother, but also its inhabitants. We are literally all burning. You have the radiation which is burning into our bodies, and we can't see it. We can see the phone towers and everything, but we actually can't see the radiation itself. Yet, it has devastating consequences on everything and in everything. The earth, ourselves, animals, everywhere. And so thus I understand we actually are burning, and the world has been burning for a very long time. And the Amazon fires, you can see it because the flames are a beacon of light. They're a beacon of that energy that is, you cannot miss it. It is so huge. You know, the lungs of the earth are burning. You can see it. But yet even before these flames were visual, it was still burning. But at a level of a very subtle level, but it was still burning, as we still are, because of the radiation and the influence radiation has on around us. So for those of you who are not familiar with the 5G radiation, which is trying to be rolled out, just do some research and have a look and see how you feel about it. For me, it's certainly not very healthy, and I'm really have an intention that it is not going to be rolled out extensively throughout Australia or the world. However, bear that in mind, that we are burning, but just at a different level and in a different way than what the Amazon fires are showing us. But also remember that despite all of this, there is so much good going on in the world, and the light will always prevail. So try and remain centered and just do the best that you can with what's happening in the world, and just try and bring that bit of balance into your life if you can, just very simply. But until next time, bye for now.